Hey guys, it is really early. I'm out here. It's about 12:30 in the morning. I'm out here starting to do some videos and just catching up. My sleep schedule's all messed up again, so I've been up at 4 or 5 a.m. and sleeping until noon, so this is just my schedule right now. Not a big deal. Let's see. It is Friday morning and I'm on day 5 now of the cleanse program. I'll have more details about that later on today, but I just want to kind of kick off the schedule today because now I can eat normally. I'm going to have some friends over for dinner and a movie, and I'm going to be cooking up some baby back ribs. Been a long time since I did those, and that's always a real popular item. But I got some cool stuff in over the last couple days too. A couple of them I have out here. Actually, let me flip this camera around. One is a new mic that I'm going to be using for most of my cigar videos and for interviews and what I'll use on CO Live and all that kind of stuff. And this is a slightly upgraded model from the one I had. The one I had previously, well, I still have it, was the Rode Video Mic, and this is the Video Mic Pro. The only difference between the two, as far as sound quality or use goes, is this has a plus 20 basically reverse attenuizer. And what that means is it's putting out a hotter signal. It's putting out more volume before it goes into your device, my camera in this case. Now, the end audio result, as far as videos goes, is actually identical. The reason I didn't get this to begin with is, it's like a $70 difference. I mean, that's a good chunk of change just for the upgrade, just for this switch. So I got the other one and it works fine. The problem is, here's the problem, and here's what it does for you. You have to use this, number one, with a good camera. And my Canon 7D here has really good video features. One of them is manual control of the audio levels. What that means is you don't have to rely on the camera to make decisions about how loud the signal should be. Okay, so right here you can hear the mic picking me up, and this is a shotgun mic, so it's going to pick up sounds very well in front of it, and to a slightly lesser degree directly in back of it. That's why I love these for doing interviews, because I can hold the camera, it can hear me, and it can hear who I'm talking to, but it cancels out a lot of things to the sides. So it is fairly directional in a straight line forward and back. So this is a live menu, a live feedback menu of me talking. And it's on manual level control, which means this is the gain basically in the camera that I have it set to. You can see it's very low. When I'm not talking, these levels go almost to zero. You'll see the left is a little bit higher than the right. That's actually a bug with the firmware for the camera. It's not, ideally these should be even, but it's not. The left channel always has a little bit more noise. You can't really hear it in the videos, so it doesn't matter that much, but that's there. So anyway, this means this has a very low noise level at this point. When there's no sound, when I'm not talking, you are not going to hear anything in the video. No hiss, no hum, nothing like that. So you can have very clean audio. That's what this plus 20 does for you. Now the old mic, because it didn't have the plus 20, it was putting out less signal. So I had to boost it more in the camera, and I'll show you what that does to the signal. I'll put it to where I had it before for the regular video mic. See where the levels are now? Don't pay attention to the peak. That's because this mic is, well, let me put it to zero, to where the old mic is. It's hard to do with one hand. This has such tiny little switches. The old one had a better design. Okay, there. Now it's on zero, so this is matching what you get out of the regular video mic. And there we go. Now I'm talking, got normal levels just below peak. That's the same kind of quality I would get out of the old one. But look where the noise levels are when I'm not speaking. way higher. Way higher. Okay, that translates into a little bit of hiss that you can hear. And what I had to do for every video clip of every video, I had to run a noise reduction filter through it to get that down. And that does degrade the audio quality a little bit. Not really noticeable to most people, but it's there. But mostly it was just a pain in the butt having to run that on every single video clip for every single video. Now, with this, I can set it to plus 20. I can set my record level down there, still have the right audio levels, and look, no noise. Now I don't have to run that noise reduction anymore. I'm good to go. Just saved myself some time and got a little bit better sound quality. Now, is that worth $70 to everybody? No, definitely not. It's, you know, this was a $230 mic. That's not cheap, but that's what it takes. So that is one of the things I got. Another thing I got, and there's another thing inside that I'll show you once the sun comes up. I got a Chromebook, and I got this. Well, that's interesting. I can see the scan rate on the monitor through the phone feedback here. I got this as a Amazon Daily deal for $149 shipped. And I wanted it specifically for doing this stuff out here, so I don't have to be lugging around my full-size laptop. This thing is really light. I mean, it's lighter than some tablets I've held. Overall quality, excellent. Really impressed so far. I'll have a full review of it once I get some more time on it. I've only been using it for, you know, maybe 30 minutes. Did the basic setup, which was extremely quick. I mean, this thing is lightning fast. It's got an SSD, and I mean, they're not kidding when they say 1 or 2 second boot time. It's a little hard to open with one hand because it's got a good little spring on it. It's basically just a big ass tablet. You know, it works great. Quality, I'm extremely impressed with. Just real quick, the big things. The screen, not color accurate, all right? But it doesn't matter because you're not doing any editing on here. It looks great for surfing the web. Colors themselves for using it are awesome. It's a beautiful screen, excellent quality, really good off-axis viewing. Not too great up and down, but side to side is very good. I mean, you're not using it this far off axis, but for normal head use, for normal movement range, perfect. It's a nice IPS display, very good contrast, very good brightness, no complaints. Colors are very saturated and vibrant. I was very surprised. It's small. It is really small, especially text. You know, I'm coming from a 17-inch down to, I don't even know what this is, 11 something. And it's very high res, so the text is small. But it's readable. I mean, it's really nice. Keyboard, pretty much the most important thing on a laptop next to the screen because this is what you're interfacing with, and the touchpad, very good. Extremely impressed. I like it better than my Acer laptop. It is almost on par with a MacBook Pro. Very solid chiclet keys, very accurate feel. With my HP and my, I can't even remember what brand my other laptop is, they have a more rubber feel. You can feel the domes give. These, no. It's just very accurate. Feels great. You don't have to think about it. Touchpad is beautiful. Better than any PC I've ever come in contact with. It is almost identical to using a Mac. 2-finger scrolls, 2-finger right clicks, just like glass. The surface is absolutely smooth and beautiful. Just perfect. I mean, intuitive. Nothing else you can say about it. They can't improve that anymore. It's just perfect. The only thing that could be better is if the keyboard was backlit, but that would add cost, obviously. You know, expandability, it's got USB 3, it's got an SD card slot somewhere over here. it's nice. I mean, for a little portable, somewhat productive computer, can't go wrong. I'm just using it for everything on the web. The one major thing that I don't like is that you can't use your own or any kind of email program. I'm used to using my own domain emails, and I use Thunderbird. Well, in this, everything's web-based, and the only email app they give you is Gmail. And I don't use Gmail. I use my own email addresses. So I have to use my web-based mail client for my mail, which I've never actually done before, and this is the only place I end up using it. But not a huge deal again, because the only thing I'm going to be doing with it is, using it out here when I'm doing a video. So I'm not really emailing people a lot back and forth, but I do like to check it while I'm out here. So I just have to use my webmail. If I was using this a lot, I would switch to a Gmail address just so I can use the app. As far as everything else goes, I mean, it's just like using a normal computer. Everything is just instant and fast, and so far I really love it. But like I said, I'm going to get some more time on it and really give a more in-depth review once I can get a real handle on everything. But for $149 shipped, that was just a gimme, no brainer. So that's that. And I'll have some other stuff later, but I'm going to get going here in some videos. So let me give you an update on the colon cleaning project. Not much is happening. The first 3 days, they were the near fasting, and I'm on the 5th day now. So yesterday I ate fairly normally. I had 2 normal meals. We got Chinese takeout. I had beef lo mein, and I split the container into 2 meals. So that was all I had yesterday, in addition to the normal program. I've got a month worth of the supplies, so doing the herbal pills and the fiber in the morning, and then one of the nutritional shakes as my breakfast after that, and then 2 light meals for the remainder of the day. So that's going to be the rest of the month, which is pretty much the same as what I'm doing. It's just adding the fiber and the herbal pills. Oh, and the tea at night. Okay, so, there were the warnings and all about the things that are going to happen, especially during the first 3 days. Stay close to a bathroom, all that kind of, no, nothing. So I don't know if A, it's BS, B, I didn't have a problem to begin with, because I think I already mentioned this, I've never had any issues to begin with. So maybe it's for people that have issues that it can help, that things would happen. Or maybe it just takes a lot longer for some people, and something is going to happen in a week or 2 weeks or in a month. I don't know, but I'll find out. So anyway, just, first 2 days are pretty normal. Day 3, because I really hadn't been eating, nothing happened. So yesterday I was really hungry, and it was very tough not to pig out and just eat everything I saw in the cabinet, because I felt, but I'll tell you, I couldn't have, because my stomach has already begun to shrunk a little bit from those 3 days of, and I really don't suggest people fast. It yo-yos you, your body goes into a immediate starvation mode, and it's just not good for you. So it didn't do anything for me. I don't suggest you do it. What was I saying? Anyway, it was really tough not to pig out, but I couldn't have anyway, because even when I had half a container of Chinese, I was so full and my stomach was just like, what are you doing, dude? You're giving me food. I haven't had food in 3 days. No, I don't like this. So I couldn't have pigged out even if I tried to. So anyway, one tip, and Nathan mentioned this in a video, but I don't think he mentioned it on purpose. He suggests that when you mix the fiber in the morning to use a red Solo cup or any disposable cup, really. And that's really good advice, because what I found was, if you use a glass like I've been doing, and you don't immediately fully rinse it out as soon as you're done drinking it, that stuff sets like freaking Portland cement. The dishwasher does not get it off, and you have to scrape it off with your fingernails, because it is on there, baby. So if you're using glasses, this is what I'm doing now. As soon as you're done drinking it, just rinse it completely out and you're fine. But if you let that sit, you got a hell of a cleaning job. Or just, like Nathan does, use disposables and not have to worry about it. So that is my only tip for the program that I've learned. Yeah, other than that, we'll see what happens. It's only 5 days in, so I'm not calling it BS. Not saying it's not going to do anything. Just saying, so far for me, it's not doing anything. I was down 7 pounds at the end of the 3 days. Of course, that was just temporary. That's because I wasn't eating. This is not a diet. This is not about a weight loss program or anything. I'm just noting it because it was something obvious. 5 of those pounds are already right back on today because I ate and, I'm back into a normal routine. I'll say another thing. Even though my normal daily routine is to drink about a gallon worth of water between coffee and Crystal Light, it was extremely hard to do that for those first 3 days because you're supposed to still drink a gallon of water a day, but without food, just drinking Crystal Light, because I'd given up coffee too because I didn't want the creamer. Oh my God, was that tough. I have to have something with the liquid. That's my daily routine is including what I'm drinking with meals. And it's a lot easier to drink a big glass of water or whatever with a meal rather than just 4 or 5 glasses in a row during an afternoon. It's just, so boring. So that was kind of tough. Really was. I didn't think it would be. The first day, that was no big deal. I didn't really think about it. And then the second day, because all I was thinking about was food. And I'm looking at that water and I'm really hating it by then. Third day, it was like, I hate water. Not drinking it. It was really, really hard. But even if this program doesn't do anything for me, I'm really glad I did it just because I discovered those nutritional shakes. Those amazing. I mean, seriously, awesome breakfast replacement. Like I said, I'm not a breakfast guy. They're tiny. I don't have to chug a big glass of anything. My wife does these really good, I have to admit, they don't taste good to me, but they're really good for you smoothies. And she does her whole smoothie routine and she puts in the protein powdered. She's really good at it. And she does those for breakfast and lunch. She takes big containers to school with her. She's a teacher. And that's an awesome program for her. And I mean, she's making really nutritional ones. She does the frozen bananas and the fresh fruit and, all that, the vitamins and stuff. And she loves it. I can't stand the way they taste, but she loves them. Anyway, she can have it. Point is, she has to drink a lot of it. I mean, a lot of it. She's drinking half a gallon a day just of smoothie. I mean, that's a lot to get your nutrition in. And these little shakes, I mean, they're like a cup and a half, if that, maybe a cup. That's it. Now they're not over a cup. They're little tiny. I think they're like 6 ounce. You know what? Let me go check. They are 8 ounce. So there we go. I'll compare it here to the wife's smoothie containers. Get a couple out here. This is what we have to resort to storage in the kitchen, because we do go through a lot of Tupperware, but there's just no room. It's hard with one hand too, without everything coming off like a Flintstone bowling ball closet. All right, so here's what she drinks every day of smoothie. 2 of those. So there's a difference. I can do a little shake for breakfast. I can't do one of these for breakfast and one of those for lunch. Forget that. So that's it for the program update. I will be back with whenever something happens with that. Whether it be something internally or big weight loss or an energy boost or just feeling different. I don't know what to expect, but you guys will be the first to know. Other than that, it's just going to be cruising on, smooth sailing. So I was telling you about the stuff I got in recently here. Man, look at these poor plants. It has to be lack of sunlight. Here's how the room looks normally. I always have these closed. These are fairly thick curtains, and very little light is coming in here. I mean, these lights are on, but they're usually off. So I'll show you how dark the room is usually. So there you go. Okay, so virtually no light is getting into those plants as far as actual sunlight. And I'm trying to find the good watering schedule. The nursery told me the worst thing you can do is overwater them. I don't know how to actually gauge it. So I've tried, a cup a week. I've tried a couple cups a week. I've tried spritzing them. Nothing makes a difference. They just always hate life. These guys here especially, and it's weird, they'll rebound. They'll go green, they'll have new shoots, and then bleh. Right now they're in a bleh stage. These guys here, they were cool. They started out with 3 or 4 of these big long guys hanging over the side. They've died. I pick out a bunch of dead leaves. Every now and then I put some Miracle Grow in there. These guys, I don't know what the heck is going on with them. They just get real soft and squishy sometimes, and they'll fold over and die. And then the others are nice and really thick and stiff. That's what she said. The soil is dry as a bone on top, but I guess that's what they want. I haven't watered them in over a week, so I guess they're liking where they are now. These guys down here, for the most part, do pretty well. Sometimes they'll get some yellow leaves, or the tips will go brown like this. I have no idea why. I mean, not doing anything special, but I picked the dead ones out. These guys, I don't think they're going to last much longer. I mean, they've thinned out about half what they were when I bought them. Here's an example of a leaf that's almost ready to pick out. And they'll just fall out when they're dead, like this one here. See, it just comes out. This guy's here, he's changing. He wasn't yellow a few days ago. Oh, he's dead. One down here. So, I don't know. But you can see new shoots coming up. So it's a combination of guys dying and new guys coming up at the same time. So I have no idea. This guy up here, he's a slightly different snake plant than the other one, and he's not doing well at all. The roots are like balls, and they'll have 3 or 4 big leaves coming out of them. You can see, again, mixed results. These are new shoots coming up, right next to ones that are dying. So I don't understand what's right and what's wrong. These guys up here, this guy's toast. He's not going to last much longer. But brand new ones here again, and there. But some of the roots just like disintegrated into mush, like something was eating them. I don't get it. You can see the holes here where the whole collections came up. This thing is half of what it was when I bought it. They've just died. They'll go limp. They'll dry up. This one here, he's in the middle of drying up. And when they're dead, you pick them up and they've completely disconnected from the root. So I don't know. This guy here, he's the worst one. These leaves are half going brown. They go limp. They dry out. I don't know. I just don't have a clue. I think these guys are probably going to go away. I don't think he's going to survive much. These, they're not too bad. This guy here, he's got new shoots coming out. New stuff on the ends. Just some of it dying. But overall, they're not doing too bad. So they seem to like the low light the best. I think when that gets thin enough, what I can do is transplant a couple of these because they're in clumps. And I can just move it over. He's got plenty to share. So, I might be down to 2 plants on each side if these guys don't last much longer. But anyway, subs. Here is the new sub. And this isn't a scratch. This is like eraser stuff. I just have to clean it off. I just got it. Haven't cleaned up the cords yet either. But had to find the right position for it. Here's the old one. Just about the same size. The old one's a little bit taller, the new one's a little bit longer. Pretty much the same dimensions. This is a 12-inch driver. The new one's actually a 10-inch driver, but it's a long excursion and it's got 50 more watts RMS. This is a 200 watt RMS, that's 150. And I like the new one better. It is not day and night. Going from the original sub, which was like a, 40 watt, much smaller, a little 6-inch driver, up to this one, that was day and night. That was like room shaking day and night difference.
Difference between these two, besides, well, I bought this for 200 and this was 380. So, I mean, it's almost twice the amount. I'd say there's only about a 20% difference. So definitely diminishing returns, and I'm not going any more than that, because going up from this, you start going above $1,000. And this is good enough for me right now. This was the Bic America 12 front firing. And this gave pretty much normal movie theater bass. That gives IMAX bass in this size room. You can see the size of the room here. So it's not that big. You know, what are we, about like 14 by 14, you know, somewhere in there. So this just absolutely delivers slamming movie bass. I have to say, for music, I like the old one better. But I don't play music in here. The only music that ever plays in the living room is background jazz when I have a client over. But if you're one that has a system that plays a lot of music and movies, you're not going to like this Klipsch. This is the Klipsch SW450. Great for movies. I mean, just fantastic. Does explosions, does low rumbles, does extended bass very cleanly, very well, and loud. There is definitely more volume in this one than that one. Like I said, not day and night, but it is there, and that's why I like it better, and that's why I'm going to keep it. This one was a little bit punchier. This is a forward-firing driver. That's a down-facing driver, so the speaker is actually facing the floor, and the port is out the back. The old one had the speaker out the front and the port out the back. You did get a little bit more thump in the chest when you played music, any kind of fast notes, like a bass guitar or bass drum or kick drum, anything like that. You felt it a little bit more because this was a little more accurate. It did the fast transitions. Whereas that one is made more for movies, where you don't have instrumental bass. You have effects bass, and this is awesome for that. So that's the only big difference. And the only mod I had to do to it, there's a big old blue light. And just like the clock on my cable box there, I was going to put tint over it, but I don't want any forward-facing light, so I just put a little dot of electrical tape so you can't see the light. And it completely disappears because it's black, so it looks great. And like I said, I just got to rub that little thing off. It's like if I wet my finger and it comes off. It's like eraser. And all the normal connections in the back, pretty much just like the old one. You had any kind of connection that you need. You have a crossover. You've got the power on, auto off, phase switch, and level control. All the normal stuff in both of them. So if you are looking for really, really good movie bass, consider the Klipsch SW450. They have a slightly smaller one, an 8-inch with 100 less watts, the SW350, but it really wasn't that much less expensive, so I don't see the point in that. And if you don't need to play your movies really, really loud, if you play them at a normal volume, this is your man right here. For 200 bucks, this is untouchable. Absolutely a steal. But I play my movies at, like I said, IMAX level. I like it loud. I like it just like I'm being there, and that's why I play it. But if you're in an apartment, or you have kids and you don't blast your stuff, this is more than enough for you, because at any kind of normal volume, this delivers absolutely phenomenal bass. And for 200 bucks, like I said, it's king. But if you want to double that and go towards 400 bucks, that one is awesome. So I'm having my friends over tonight for dinner and a movie, and that's going to start at 7. So I've got the ribs starting. I have 3 racks of baby back ribs. The only reason I got baby back this time instead of my normal short ribs is because they were all out of short ribs. I didn't feel like going to another store for another butcher. So I just paid the extra, I don't know, it was like 30, 40 cents a pound more. No big deal. You get smaller bones. The only real difference between baby back ribs and short ribs is these are the next section down. The short ribs are from here to here on the cow, or the pig, I should say, and the bones get progressively larger. So with the short ribs, you get a little bit more that you have to trim off, and there's a little less meat to bone ratio. So you're paying for a little bit more meat, and it's a little bit more tender in the baby backs. And the bones down on this end of it get really small, and they just fall out. Depends on how you cook it, though. I'm going to cook these so it just stays on the bone. And I'll do a kind of dipping sauce on the side. I've got my normal HLO rub on here. This is no salt, all spices. You guys have seen me do this enough. You can check out my other rib videos for all the details on that. And I'm just going to do a nice, slow 3-hour smoke without the foil, no juice. So it's not going to be the, butter, tender, fall off the bone, because I want these to be finger food, because we're going to be eating these while we're watching a movie. So I'm going to let these marinate, or not marinate, I'm going to let the rub sit in for about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to go out and in about half an hour start the coals. I got some nice big chunks of hickory that I'm going to be smoking them with, and they'll be on there for 3 hours, real super simple. The sauce will go on at the end just to heat up, and I'll be basting it just a couple times during the smoking. And we're going to have some corn on the cob with it and watch Gravity. Woohoo! Got the coals starting. Alright, it's just after 4 o'clock. These coals have been going about 25 minutes. This is right where you want your coals when you're ready to pour. You want them to start turning gray. That means they're getting to their hottest spot. The flames should be dying down. They were shooting up much higher while it was heating up, but you want them to die down, because you don't want to pour black coals onto your grill, because that gets some nasty flavors on your food. You want them when they're turning lighter. So now I'm going to go and pour these on, and you've seen me do this enough. Put them all to one side, put them up, and the wood is going to go on top, and then I'm going to get my ribs on using my multi-rack. There we go. Hickory's on, 3 racks are on. You want them bone side down, bone side facing the fire. I got to hurry up and put the lid on here so the wood doesn't totally catch. Got my rub on, looks and smells delicious. Good to go. 3 hours later, we'll be eating. We're halfway done. Let's take a look-see. I just put the sausage on and basted it. Oh, yeah, it smells so good. Oh, yeah, those are looking good. Not seen any meat pull back on the bone yet, but it's still early. Got a really good color going on. Perfect temperature. These are pretty thick for baby back. What I'm doing here for the sauce is a combination of pure maple syrup. Make sure you use the real stuff, not like Aunt Jemima crap. Does make a difference when doing a basting sauce. And I did equal parts of that with apple cider vinegar, and then about a 1/4 cup of the same rub that I put on the ribs. So those are going to sit, and these are just regular hot Italian sausage, nothing special there. Just for a little variety, in case if someone wants a bite of something other than ribs. That's it. Hour and a half to go, and we'll be done. Oh, baby. These ribs are looking good. Nom, 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 nom. Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about for dinner. Alright, ribs just came in. Corn's just about coming to a boil. Guests will be here pretty soon. Got the smoked sausages. 3 racks of baby backs. They're going to sit, and I'll cut them up in about 10 minutes. I think they're here. So I will see you guys next time.